Hello everybody, Dr. Kelsey here, the Wish Doctor at www.thewishdr.com. And I'm here today to present the Trinity Machine. Why is it called a Trinity Machine? Because it is 3 in 1. And I'm going to give a brief overview of this machine and what it is capable of doing. If you order one of these, first of all, you will get a manual that I've written in detail that covers all the aspects of each of the major components of this machine. The purple plate to, everything on here. All right, you'll also get this little bag. And in this little bag, I'll go ahead and pull these out. You're going to get a Tesla coil. You're going to get an orgone pyramid. And again, this and why it's here is explained in the manual. Set it aside for the moment. And then you're going to get the 2 cords, which if you're familiar with my machines, you'll be familiar with these. It has the 3.5 millimeter jack on one end and an alligator clip on the other end. So I'm going to set those aside for the moment. And we're going to talk first of all about the Trinity Machine and what it does. 3 in 1. First of all, let me turn this around as if it were sitting in front of you. It is, first of all, a basic wishing machine. That's the start of it. So it has the same components and it'll do the same thing as the very basic wishing machine that I produce. It's got the 5 knobs that I use on all my wishing machines. It's got the input plate and it's got the stick plate. Some people call this the witness plate, the copper plate. You'll notice the stick plate or the output plate on this model is a purple plate. The purpose of the purple aluminum plate is described also in a chapter in this manual that I've written here. Okay, so it has the basic, and there's the input and the output for these jacks. To cover again, and if you've seen my other videos, you'll know why we have an input and output jack. If on the input side, if there is some representation of what your intention is, that you're wanting to put on to represent what you're wanting, what your wish is, but it's too big or too cumbersome to fit on here and to stay put on here, then that's when you would use the input jack with alligator clip. You'd plug this in and then you would, of course, unravel the cord and you could attach this to either a pot or a pan that would hold your intention, a metal, or to something that is the intention itself. On the output side, if you are wanting to sit with the machine and you want to be better connected to the machine than just having something to represent you, your picture, or your driver's license or something, if you're sitting with the machine, you can plug in the other cord to the output and attach alligator clip to a piece of your clothing, your lapel, your ball cap, whatever. So you get a more direct connection for the period of time that you have to spend with your machine. So that's a brief explanation of that. Now, in setting the dials, no matter what you're using this for, whether you're using it for the wishing machine mode, for the vampire machine mode, or for the Tepaphone mode, when you're setting the frequency of these, you'll start all these to the far, well, that'll be left, correct? then you would go and start here, set this one first, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. That's the way it's wired. You go down, up, down, up. 5 is the number I use. 5 is a neutral number. So 5 is the number I use, and it's been very effective with the people that's been using this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as explained in the manual, you can do the traditional swiping. And if you're doing the swiping as you set the knobs here, set the frequency, keep in mind, you may not get a real strong stick. It may be very subtle. So you want to really feel what's going on here as you're moving this dial. And some people don't even swipe their fingers. Some people simply go by what they feel that feels right. Some people use a pendulum. At any rate, different ways of using and setting the frequency are explained in the book. All right, this one is powered. So even in the wishing machine mode, to get everything, you start out by powering it up. You'll know you got it powered up when the red light is on, okay? So that's the basic setup for the wishing machine side of it. Now, the vampire machine. Why do we call it a vampire machine? Most likely, oh wait a minute, I'm skipping something. The orgone pyramid and the Tesla coil. Getting ahead of myself just a little bit. When you're setting this up, the orgone pyramid would set just like a paperweight, if you will. When you've got your intention set over here, and you've got whatever your intention is, a picture of it or something written down here, you're starting to set the machine up, set the orgone pyramid on top of it, power it up, okay? And then once you get it set and you're moving what represents you to the purple plate, then move this to the center. So it kind of balances between the input and output. That would sit there. Now, in shipping, this is not attached. It is powered by a 9-volt battery. You'll see the pigtail here. Some people may get on Amazon.com and order a adapter to plug this into a AC outlet, and that's fine. In the bottom here of this, if you peel this piece of paper off, there's a real sticky pad underneath, and you just simply peel that off. Once you peel that off, make sure the cord is facing the back of the machine and place it in this far corner here. Press it down firmly so it'll stick. I'm not going to attach this prior to sending it to you simply because I don't want this damaged, and you see how this is. Once you get this set up, right here you'll see one strand of a copper wire. What is wound around here real neatly, but there'll be one strand. You want to pull it up and out. You probably can't see that strand in the video, but it's there, and you'll see it. It's going to be tucked down kind of right here for safety as you ship it. But before you power this up, pull that one strand carefully. You don't want to unravel this. So just carefully pull it up and make sure it's kind of out and away from the coil itself. So that would sit here. Okay? Now, for the demonstration purposes, just to walk through this, I'm not going to leave this sitting here. I'm not going to remove this. This is going to somebody. So I'm going to lay this over here. Okay? The orgone pyramid, it is also described in the manual as to what it's for. I'm going to go ahead and just power that off right now. When you use it for a vampire machine, you've probably heard the term a psychic vampire. Psychic vampire is someone that is stealing energy, grabbing energy. You may be around someone, and every time you're around them, you feel drained. You just lose your energy. It's because they're sucking that energy every time they're around you. This machine is designed to be able for you to get energy from some source. I encourage you to use it to get energy from the sun. A waterfall. Water has powerful energy. The earth, the planet itself, even certain food items can provide energy. You choose what the source is, put a representation of it in this tube here. And on the back, right here, is a white container with a switch on it. You're going to power that up. This will illuminate red inside. When you get it, there is a little piece of plastic here that you're going to want to pull out, and I'm leaving that in there because that keeps the battery from connecting and to save the battery, so when it's shipped to you, you have a full battery. So once you get it, you want to make sure you remove that piece of plastic so you'll be able to turn this on and get that red illumination in there. This is where you would put a representation of the source of where you want to steal energy from. Once you get that set in there, then you're going to go through a basic setting of the frequencies again. Follow the instructions in the manual. Don't be afraid to experiment with what works best with you, whether it be with the wishing machine, whether it be the vampire machine, or even the Tepaphone. Just because there is let's say a traditional way to set this up, it's not going to work the same for everybody. So don't be afraid to kind of experiment with it in that mode. All right. This is for the Tepaphone. A Tepaphone, back in the early part of the 20th century, it was developed and it had nefarious, for nefarious reasons it was developed. Even the Nazis were said to have been working on a Tepaphone to be able to use it as a death ray. This is set up so that you're not using it as a death ray, you're using it in a positive way. You'll notice this illuminates a green light. The color green is used here because green represents life, it represents fertility, it represents energy, it represents all these positive things. So you would go through, if you want to use this as a Tepaphone, the purpose of that is to be able to direct positive energy out to some other place to affect the outcome of something out here, away from you, to send energy to a relative or a friend that maybe is far away or does not live with you. You can aim this in the direction with your intention set. You can pin on the wall a photograph of the person or something to represent the situation that you're trying to affect, and you would want to illuminate it with this. That would be the target. Your input, again, this could be used to, when you're putting energy here, to throw the energy out somewhere besides to yourself. This could be used for an intention, to have an intention sent somewhere else, to somebody else, to some other geographical location. And you could put the representation of that, like I said, on a wall or just in a general vicinity as far as the direction on the planet it's going to go. And all this is described effectively in the book. Okay? This is powered 3 different ways. Well, actually 4 different ways. This is a AC connector for this. For the main power right here, if that red light starts going dim or does not come on the back of the unit is this box. And in this box is a 9-volt battery. And that's what you would change out. I do ship it with a 9-volt battery. I'm not going to guarantee you how long that 9-volt battery is going to last. Some people leave the machine on a whole lot. I would say go ahead and have you some extra 9-volt batteries. For the illumination, In here, it uses a button battery. You'll see 4 little Phillips head screws. You need a tiny screwdriver. If you turn this on, you removed the little plastic here, and you turn this on, and your illumination is getting weak or it is not coming on. Then you would need to remove this and replace the button battery. Inside here, at the end of this tube is shaped like this. There's another coil. This is not the only coil. There's another coil inside here. This powers that coil. Now, you'll never see it lit up. You're not, once you get this set, you should not be opening the box up. So, when you are using the machine in the vampire mode, you'll need to turn this, which will be toward the front of the box, to turn it on, okay? And that battery should last a long time. Here again, it's a simple matter of sliding that down, and there are 3 AA batteries right here that will power that. And then you just put that on there and slide it back up to lock it back in place. Okay? So there is the very basics of this machine. Is described well in this very thick manual that I've written that covers wishing machine, vampire machine, Tepaphone, Tesla coil, the purple plate, the Orgone pyramid. It gives you ideas as to different ways to use this. It gives suggestions. Don't be afraid to make it yours, to connect to it. You'll also get, and I'm going to got somebody else's name here. I want to make sure that I don't give their information away. But you'll get a book about your life path number and your birthstone. Some people are not aware of the power of their birthstone, what that means, what that birthstone means to you. The more you know about yourself, the more positive results you'll be able to get out of this machine. I also have written a book that's published. You can find it on Amazon.com, but I'm giving you this copy of my book, Get What You Want. And this is a very practical guide that, in conjunction with radionics, in conjunction with what we're doing with this machine, these are things you can do to enhance the results that you would get out of this machine. A very practical, down-to-earth book of what you can be doing, even outside of this, to make sure you get what you want. So again, my name is Dr. Kelsey. My phone number is 888-501-6689. The website is www.thewishdr.com, the Wish Doctor, thewishdr.com. Don't spell doctor out. You can contact me through the contact page in there. You feel free to call me at 888-501-6689. I talk individually to all the people I deal with in these machines. I do not build these and stock them. None of the machines that I produce are built and stocked. I don't have any sitting over here that's pre-built. I do not build a machine out until it's purchased, because I'm putting everything I know and everything I can individually, so this becomes, it was built for the person that's going to use it. So when I'm building this, and it's Bob Smith, and he was born December the 1st, 1987. Then, from scratch, I'm building this for Bob Smith, who was born on that date. So it's not some pre-built machine. It is built uniquely and designed uniquely for the individual user. Another key point, some of the components, especially the Tesla coils. I keep some of these, but I get a lot of orders. When I place an order for some new ones for future machines, sometimes they don't have the same one. Sometimes your Tesla coil may look different. It's going to work the same. So don't freak out if you get one and you get a machine. It's like, well, my Tesla coil wasn't that tall, or it wasn't that wide or skinny or whatever. It does the same thing. And some of them may be powered a little bit differently, but the result is going to be the same. I have no control over the availability of these, and I do not build these. Okay? So I just want to make that clear. www.thewishdr.com. That's a brief overview of the Trinity Machine, which, again, the wishing machine, the vampire machine, and the Tepaphone. 3 in 1. Best wishes.